what we're teaching is like, hey, if you want to invest in real estate and become a full-time investor and like do this as your profession, then we're here to help, because we believe it's necessary to have more investors here in Puerto Rico for all of us. You're a believer of this. You believe in total abundance, right? And and you promote abundance through your collaborations, through the efforts that you're putting out, even the YouTube, the lives. There's so many properties here. There's so much opportunity that we could have 1,000 investors and still find amazing deals, right? And another thing that I tell my students, sometimes they ask me, it's like, yo, why are you teaching this? You're creating more competition. And I'm like, no, dude, if you're going after a 10 unit, I'm trying to figure out how to go after like a 50 unit. There's levels for this. Like you're doing hotels, right? You're doing hotels. You're not that really worried about a 4 or 5 unit, right? And so they're like, oh yeah, that's true. I'm like, hey, as you keep going, you're going to try to do bigger and bigger things. And so that's why there's never a shortage of.
Well, and all ships rise in a rising tide. We say that phrase a lot, and that's truly one of our core beliefs, is that there is enough for everyone. And so we do invite lots of people to come. We invite people to come to the island. We invite people to come back to the island who have a connection. And I get a lot. I've been, over the last 5 years, been told several times by locals, hey, I didn't realize investing in Puerto Rico real estate was so valuable until they watched our YouTube channel or they meet Edgardo Joy. They just don't, it's not, it hasn't been for 10 or 15 years thought of as a really good idea to invest in Puerto Rico real estate. It's just now that it's sort of made the turn and that people are starting to see it. So, I mean, we moved our business 5 years ago after Maria because we saw an opportunity and because we thought we could recreate something I call a 2012 market, which was a market where you could buy things really inexpensively and ride the big wave up. But the big wave only comes if there's lots of investment going on, right? Like, so a guy like myself, no matter how much one Robbie Krager can do, it will never be enough to change anything on the island of Puerto Rico. So I need Edgardo Joy, I need Juan Carlos, I need thousands of other people to come into the island, and it lifts everything along the way. And that's part of the reason that we invite people. And that's why we like to partner with people. We want to get as many people actively investing in real estate and providing great housing for people, and quite honestly, changing their lives as well. I mean, for most people on the island, an extra $2,000 to $4,000 or $5,000 is life changing. It's a game changer, right? Like that's a really big deal. And so that is our work. That's what we encourage people to do. So I know that's what you do in your community, even probably way better than I do. I mean, how many students now do you have that you're teaching how to buy these small?
In January, we currently have 62 students. They purchased together over 50 doors.
Wow.
And then the second wave of the byproduct of this is that we're starting to invest together. And I think that's probably the best scenario is when you do something selfishly, but the outcome is everyone wins. Like if we were to analyze this life, at the end of the day, we're doing two things. We're promoting ourselves so that people invest with us, but we're also helping the community, right? So it's like you get to make money, I get to make money, the community gets better, people have a housing. It's like it's the perfect scenario for a win-win, right? It's a beautiful business model when it's in our best interest to promote it and by doing that, everyone literally wins, right? Yeah. Someone can watch this and say, hey, I want to learn from Rob. Cool. They can become an operator. Someone can watch this and say, hey, I have 50, 100K, 500K sitting in the bank. Rob can give me an amazing return. Let me invest with him and be a passive investor. Bam. He wins because he's getting an amazing return. He's also helping the community. You win because you're getting a financial, and you're also increasing your wealth, right, and your equity and all that. And so I think that's what's awesome about what you're doing, and what we're like trying to figure out here is like, how can we have an equation where we can literally all win? The more you win, the more money you make, the more your partners make, the more money Robbie makes, right?
Yep.
The more money Robbie makes, guess what happened? That means he had to rehab a bunch of buildings. So that town now has property taxes. That town has people living in there, you know, and then you start to see the little coffee shop here in the corner, the little bakery shop here popping up. And so it's literally a wheel of community and a wheel of win-win for everyone. Like, and that's pretty cool. I don't necessarily think all businesses are like that.